Day 75, I'm reading If God is Love, page 81. It's chapter 4, Living Graciously. Several years ago, a friend phoned to tell me he and his wife were expecting their first child. While his wife was pregnant, my friend would wax poetic about the joys of being a parent, holding his son, watching his first steps, hearing him say, "Daddy," playing catch in the side yard, going to his first Little League game, camping trips, and other anticipated delights. Not wanting to dampen his enthusiasm, I didn't mention dirty diapers, ear infections, colic, and the jarring loss of freedom and spontaneity. 3 weeks after his daughter was born, I stopped by his home to visit. He was slumped in a chair, bleary-eyed and exhausted. His daughter, confused about night and day, had kept him up 4 nights in a row. I asked him how things were going. "Remind me again why I wanted to be a father," he said. Of course, he loved his daughter deeply and soon experienced many of the joys he'd anticipated. What he hadn't expected was how radically the birth of his daughter would impact his every moment, waking or sleeping. Every momentous event, whether welcomed or resisted, he has the power to unsettle us, to alter our lives in ways we never choose or desire. The birth of a child is not the only way such moment. Starting a new job, getting married, moving to a new place, going to college, joining a church, all of these, though welcome, have the potential to stretch us, sometimes uncomfortably so. Those transitions we don't choose are even more difficult. Altering my theology was as unsettling as any changes in my life. I went through a period when I couldn't pray. I'd been taught since birth to begin each prayer with "Dear Jesus." Jesus was my mediator, the one I pictured and addressed. When I began to question his role, I found myself unable to pray. This was painful, and I struggled for months. One day, I tried to solve my dilemma. I imagined Jesus coming to me and saying, "It's all right. Do what I did. Pray to my Father." The logjam broke, and my prayer life flourished again. I hadn't anticipated how my theological questioning would impact what I'd long taken for granted, my prayer life. This wrestling with our theology, though absolutely necessary to spiritual growth, often puts our lives out of joint. On several occasions, I thought, "Remind me again why I wanted to question and challenge the beliefs I was taught." The answer, as with all change, is because what had once satisfied no longer filled me with joy and peace. This spiritual dissatisfaction is a divine gift. God loves us too much to let us remain less than we can be. Life is designed to challenge our inadequate beliefs and behaviors. Fortunately, God also guides and directs us in new ways. I discovered different answers to questions I'd thought forever settled. As with any significant change, I welcomed many of these theological adjustments. What I didn't anticipate was how a richer understanding of God's universal love jarred every facet of my life. I naively thought I could change my beliefs about human destiny without seriously altering my other opinions. I was wrong. Once change was set in motion, many assumptions I'd held uncritically toppled down like dominoes. Believing in the salvation of all people changed my world. This change of thinking, what some called a paradigm shift, affected my views on religion, Christianity, politics, economics, justice, and international affairs. Those are important topics and worth considerable thought and discussion. Our beliefs about such things influence the direction of our world. I've written this book convinced that if enough people discovered and accept God's unconditional love, our world would be transformed. I'll spend much of the remainder of this book exploring the possibilities for that transformation. However, these universal hopes are tempered by a personal reality. Paul said, I do not understand my own actions, for I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. This is my struggle. The solutions I so glibly offer to the world's problem lack credibility if I'm unwilling or unable to live graciously with my family and friends in my vocation and even in my leisure. In the end, my first challenge is to allow God's unfailing grace to change my daily life. Okay, I should stop here. Please correct me if you can. Thank you.